worldwide services, synchronizing the world of commerce. Now, that's a fantastic motto. It's a fantastic mission and goal and philosophy. Worldwide services, synchronizing the world of commerce. And it's a fantastic philosophy and approach and method if you put it into practice for dealing with the world and dealing with yourself like Jesus would. Because Jesus was dedicated to worldwide services. Synchronizing the world of commerce. And that's what Jesus came to do. He came to synchronize the world of commerce. Because Jesus was a synchronizer. And he came to synchronize the world of commerce. And the world of commerce is the world as understood as activity that takes place between people or members of society or consumers or however you want to look at it or them, but it's the world of commerce. And the world of commerce is not the world as a condition or a state of being or the situation that you may find yourself in or I may find myself in because of the conditions that exist that define or place a border around our society, but that it is the activity that takes place in that society that was important to Jesus. And so, in our society, and as was the case in his society, that is to say, the society of Jesus, when Jesus was first appearing on the stage of history, but you can live in his time, or you can live in your time, and that's our time. But if you apply the principles and the principle of his life So he said and did many things according to the people that wrote the stories. And then he left. And then he said he was going to come back again to synchronize the world of commerce. So he did it in his time. He's doing it in our time. And he's going to come back and do it when it's the end time. And in this process, this is called synchronizing the world of commerce. And ultimately, if you're going to synchronize, you have to be able to get at all ends of the mechanism at one time. You have to be able to get readings on everything. And then you have to be able to make adjustments to levers and gears and buttons that need to have the springs tightened or their action slowed down or reduced in order to get things to be synchronized. So Jesus claimed, that the way that this synchronizing of the world of commerce was going to come about, be accomplished, was by his life and his death. And he claimed that he had the authority to say these things because he claimed to be equal with God. And that he claimed that everything that came before him pointed to him, and that everything that followed him was to be a representation of him, if it was to be correct. And so all of this time, since the time of his life and death, and then we have the stories that tell us of his words and his deeds. And then it's up to me whether or not I want to follow that. I can't deny it's there, but I have to decide whether I want to follow that or whether I don't want to follow that or won't or am unable to. But you can always take your business somewhere else, because synchronizing the world of commerce has to do with choice in who you're commercing with. Because people are not puppets. 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 They are participants together in the process of building and upholding society. And that's what society is the system that produces the conditions, or supports the people that produce the conditions that cause things to be out of synchronization. So the other thing is, worldwide services, synchronizing the world of commerce. It's not that it's just the synchronization of the world of commerce. It's synchronizing the world of commerce. It's an ongoing process and action. It's a deed that must be put forward, carried out. And once the deed is done, if it is not continued on in another deed, then it's no longer a deed, it's a story. And so we have these stories of Jesus, and if Jesus is to continue synchronizing the world of commerce today, then we Christians have to stop acting like Christians, and they need to start acting like somebody that's a Christian, and that means they need to start acting like Christ. And that's not going to be something that a lot of people want to do. Especially if they are Christians. Most Christians you meet do not want to participate in the synchronizing of the world of commerce. They want to participate in the synchronization of the world of commerce. They want it to have been something that was accomplished and then that came with a set of rules that they could apply to everybody else so that everybody else could be part of their synchronization of the world of commerce. And what they mean is the world of their commerce. What they mean is the world. That's why you see so many Christians with bumper sticker on the back of their vehicle that says "not of this world," because they're advertising to the world in language that the world can understand. They're saying things that the world says. They're acting like the world. And so 99% of Christians that you know or meet, and again, there's always exceptions, but I'd say it's about 99%. My guess of the ones I've met, and I used to be one, is that Christians always know they're right. So once they've learned something, there's no knowledge or any further learning to be added to the measure that they've achieved. This will affect the way they participate in the synchronizing of the world of commerce, because they will believe that synchronizing beyond the point of their current state of synchronization will destroy their ability to function and still remain like the world. And so this is the reason why it's a synchronizing of the world of commerce and not the synchronization of the world of commerce, because the synchronization of the world of commerce would mean that everything is fine the way it is, whereas the synchronizing of the world of commerce will have to do with it being an ongoing process. And that if Christ is to be synchronizing the world of commerce today in our time, as he was in his time, then that means that we have to act like Christ and we have to imitate Christ. And we need to become synchronizers. And the way that Jesus synchronized, or rather was a synchronizer, because it's up to the people that hear and encounter Jesus through the words that Jesus says and the words and the deeds that Jesus does are going to have to be the ones that decide whether or not they're going to be synchronized. And so everywhere that Jesus went, he was always synchronizing, trying to get people to be synchronized. And he'd say, just follow me. Whatever you see me do, do that. Whatever you hear me say, follow that. Learn from that. And apply that in everything that you do. And that's what it means to be a Christian, and that's what it means to be truly not of this world. In that way, then, your advertising method is not a bumper sticker. It's the language of Jesus. So you're not speaking the language of the world. You're not saying what the world says. You're saying what Jesus says.